Hi guys, today we're going to go over how to write the actual body paragraphs. Now, writing the body paragraphs using this system depends on us having completed step 1 and step 2 of our research paper already. Step 1 being completing all the research, that's our quote and our analysis. Step 2 being after doing all our research, we were able to write our thesis statement and complete our works cited page. Now, when you look at the body paragraph structure here, this one is geared for students who prefer English class, and then I have another slide for students who prefer math or science class. You'll notice that the quote and the analysis, this is the research phase of our research paper. So this part of our body paragraph should actually already be written. Now, to go back through it again, the topic sentence must inform the reader what the paragraph is about, or you could answer this question. Did your character complete the task? Okay, so we know each one of our body paragraphs refers to a different task. The first one being call to adventure, the second one being crossing the threshold, third one is overcoming obstacles, and the fourth one being sharing or completing the reward. So, for example, did your character complete the task? Let's say I'm talking about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln had a call to adventure. That would be a complete sentence. It would talk about my character and whether or not they completed the task. When you introduce the quote, you want to bring the reader to the quote, so you want to think setting, either time or place. So you can tell us when or where your character did or did not complete their task. Again, as we already talked about, your quote was done during your research and it came directly from a database. Your first analysis, which tells the reader how the quote proves that your character did or did not complete the task, should also already be completed. Your second analysis of the quote is going to show why does completing or not completing that task affect your thesis statement. For those students who prefer math or science, we can look at these sentences in terms of an equation. Your topic sentence is going to be your character plus your topic. Your introduction of the quote is going to involve your character, your topic, and the setting of the quote. Your quote, again, is taken directly from the database, so you don't have to write that sentence. Your first analysis should be your character plus integrate the quote and add the topic to that sentence. Your second analysis is going to be how the topic affects the thesis in any way. You may also include your character's name again. Okay, so I want to go into a bit of research here, and I want to apply these ideas that we just talked about. So we'll look at, this looks like a good one, overcoming obstacles. So I'm going to scroll up to the top here. Okay, and as you can see, step 1 and step 2 has been completed. We completed our research, we have our quotes, we have our analysis, and we have our citations. Okay, it looks like the student already went through and wrote the thesis statement as well. Abraham Lincoln is a hero according to Joseph Campbell's definition because he completed all 4 steps of the hero's journey. Okay, so it's important that we recognize this person did complete all 4 steps. I'm going to come down here to the third body paragraph. Okay, it doesn't matter which paragraph. It doesn't matter which paragraph you start with. The first thing we're going to do is we have our quote. Now, in our paragraph, we obviously don't need this here, so we're going to get rid of it. This one already has quotation marks. If your quote ends in a period, you change that to a comma. If it were to end in an exclamation point or a question mark, you would leave it as is. You come outside of your quote and you're going to add parentheses. You're going to come down to your citation and you're going to take the first word from your citation. Copy that word and paste it into your parentheses. Close your parentheses and add the period. At this point, you now have your quote and your in-text citation. Because we've already completed our works cited page, we can now delete this citation off of this document. Your analysis should come right after your quote. So again, we're not going to have this word analysis in our final paper, so we're just going to take that out and we're going to format it. So now we have a quote and an analysis and they look like they're overlapping sentences. By Abraham Lincoln having to face the gravity of a civil war, he is overcoming a huge obstacle in his life. All I'm going to do is change this into past tense. He overcame a huge obstacle in his life. I'm also going to get rid of huge. He overcame an obstacle in his life. The reason I took the word huge out is because in our definition, it says that our heroes must overcome obstacles. It doesn't say that the obstacles have to be large or small. That adjective does not do anything in terms of proving our thesis is correct, so we're going to delete it out of our paper. Okay, at this point, we're ready to write our topic sentence. This is the topic of our paragraph, or this is the task we're going to talk about. Now, if you look back at our slides, we need to add the character to this topic. Or if we look at our other slide, did your character complete the task? Answer in a complete sentence. So I'm going to come back over here. Abraham Lincoln, it looks like he did overcome obstacles. So all I'm going to write for my topic sentence is Abraham Lincoln did overcome obstacles. These don't need to be capitalized, so I'm just going to make them lowercase and add a period. That is now our topic sentence. In terms of introducing the reader to the quote, we need to look at this quote and we need to think to ourselves, do we want to talk about when this event happened, where this event happened, or do we want to talk about both? So when I look at the quote, no other president had ever had to face the gravity of a civil war, and Lincoln acted quickly and without constitutional authority to stem the rebellion. I don't see a where in this quote, but I do see a when. Okay, so all I'm going to do to bring the reader to the quote is I'm going to have my character name, I'm going to have my topic, and now I'm going to add part of the setting. Lincoln overcame obstacles when dealing with the Civil War. Sorry, make sure everything is spelled correctly. Okay, at this point, we now have a topic sentence. Abraham Lincoln did overcome obstacles. We have an introduction to the quote. Lincoln overcame obstacles when dealing with the Civil War. We have our quote. No other president had ever had to face the gravity of a civil war, and Lincoln acted quickly without constitutional authority to stem the rebellion. We have our citation. By Abraham Lincoln having to face the gravity of a civil war, he overcame an obstacle in his life. All we need to do now is add our second analysis. How does overcoming obstacles apply to our thesis of being a hero according to Joseph Campbell? Well, overcoming obstacles is the third step of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. So when we can now come down here, we've already proved that he overcame obstacles. So we can refer to that and say, when Lincoln overcame obstacles, he also completed the third step of Campbell's hero's journey, period. The only thing we have left to do to turn this into a body paragraph is to format it. We know our body paragraphs are going to be indented. It should not be in a different, we shouldn't have lines bolded and other lines not bolded. So we'll come in here, unbold everything. Everything should be the same font. Looks like we're going with Arial. And we want this to be size 12. Okay. The only thing that looks funny here is the quote looks like it's a different color black. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it right now. Yep, text color. We want everything to be the same color. At this point, that body paragraph is done. Okay, we'll obviously repeat this process for all of our body paragraphs, but this is basically how we want to write a body paragraph. Again, it depends on having your quote, your first analysis, and your citation and works cited page already done. If steps 1 and 2 are done, then we can go to step 3, which is write our body paragraphs. And as you can see, these are not long sentences, and they're not very complicated sentences. If you are a math or a science person, you can think of these sentences in terms of very basic equations. Your topic sentence must include the character and the topic, and that is it. Frequently, students want to ask me if this paragraph is too repetitive. For example, let's count the number of times we see Abraham Lincoln. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess we call it 7. So his name appears 7 times in 5 sentences. Also, overcoming obstacles, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in 5 sentences. This is okay in academic writing. We are not writing to entertain our audience. The only reason we would ever write this paragraph is to discuss Abraham Lincoln, and whether or not he overcame obstacles. Every sentence in the paragraph should deal with those two ideas, either Lincoln or how he overcame the obstacles. It's okay in academic writing to appear repetitive. Remember, we're only writing this paragraph to prove one point, and this is the point: Abraham Lincoln overcoming obstacles. Based on that idea, we should see his name and the phrase overcoming obstacles quite frequently. Okay, at this point, we're ready to complete our body paragraphs and get ready for step 4 of our hero research paper.